welcome back to the Peptide of the Week podcast. I'm your host, JD Denham. Across the way, my buddy, my pal, my business partner, friend, Mr. William T. Haas, like always.
What's up, man?
What's up, dude? And unfortunately, not with us here, but live across the internet she goes by Dr. K. Some know her as Dr. Ksenia. She is all over the darn internet right now. So if you're in the world of peptides or hormone replacement and you haven't seen her, you're not looking. So, Dr. K, how are you?
Great. And I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Well, not here, but
Yeah.
virtually. Very excited.
love it.
I was looking forward to this talk.
Me too. I've been seeing your stuff everywhere, and I love the education that you're dropping out there.
Thank
It's
you.
been so awesome. We need more doctors like you. Let's find some. Where are they at? I love that you are. It's just so refreshing to see some of the stuff that you're putting out there, and that's obviously why you're growing probably really quickly.
Thank you.
Yep. Where are you from? Where? What city and state are you sitting in right now?
Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida.
I've been here for the past 24 years, or 23.
Yeah, Miami's awesome. I've been there many times.
Can you tell us what you do? For everybody? Credential yourself,
sure,
or
I'm
just
a
I don't really care
PA.
about. I don't care about credential. But yeah.
And I am a partner in the wellness business. And what I do personally is I see men and women for their hormone replacement therapy, peptides, and weight loss, I would say. So 3 major categories.
Okay,
Cool.
out of those 3, what would you say you would lean towards if you had to choose one? What would be your favorite?
HRT probably, because it's very complicated, and I like complicated stuff. I like to figure stuff out.
Yeah, that's good. You kind of seem like that type of person. In regards to that, let's touch on that for a little bit. So in regards to that, what are you seeing? What are some of the reasons why people's hormones are so out of whack these days? I mean, you're talking young 20-year-olds are even like low on testosterone and things like that. Do you have an idea of what you think is some of the issues with people going on?
Young people, well, we have to look at their metabolic profile, because lots of people are, unfortunately, what I see in my practice, if a 30-year-old man with testosterone of 250, most likely I see him
Yes.
carrying some extra weight.
Okay. So you think it's the weight thing. I know when I started doing the fitness channel, for me, I started to have a lot of men pull their blood work, and I marketed towards men over 40, right? I'm over 40, so it seemed smart to do that, which it was. And then as the channel grew, younger men started to come in, and when they would talk to me about how they felt, being tired and lethargic and all this stuff, I really started to question it, thinking, could it be their testosterone? No way. Like a 28-year-old. And I would have them pull their blood work, not thinking that was going to be it. And there was still the high majority of the men I ever had pull their blood work were literally under 300. And then not all of them were overweight. Is it anything else in particular, or
Yes.
you really just think it's the weight problem?
No, I mean, there are a lot of factors. What I've seen after COVID, lots of men would get their testosterone for some reason. Is it a virus? Is it a vaccine? Is it a virus? There's no research, right? But I do see a lot of men who had COVID, who had vaccines, but so they had COVID and they had vaccines. There's a lot of conspiracy, but definitely viral illness could have been the culprit of it. Also, if you have I do work with a lot of athletes. If they had concussions, many concussions, their testosterone will be low because of the trauma-induced endocrine dysfunction.
You see professional athletes.
Yes.
Are you seeing their testosterone low as well? Professional athletes?
Some of them, yes. Mostly I see them for intra-articular injections, because I am also trained with orthopedics, and I can perform intra-articular injections, and I treat mostly their knees.
Okay. You see these days men, even young men, talking about TRT. Whether they're running gear or TRT, let's just call it TRT because that's what they say.
Yeah.
Now, Do you think that that many men, even young men, should be on testosterone replacement?
Well,
Because it's literally
it
everywhere.
depends. Again, how young are they? It depends what their testosterone. And again, total testosterone, it's that number doesn't give us much. If it's low, yes, of course it's
Sure.
low, but we have to look at also LH and FSH. Maybe it's primary hypogonadism. We have to look at their estrogen, DHT. We have to look at their free testosterone. Free
Right.
testosterone is the most important testosterone that the body can actually use.
Yes.
And
Why do you think that a lot of medical doctors don't run free testosterone? Do they not know that? Because that
really?
seems that like
I
like they would when I would get a blood test from their own, a lot of them would be coming back without free testosterone, which
Well, maybe they are
that
the
kind of tells the
insurance
picture.
slaves because insurance dictates what the doctor can actually prescribe and what insurance is going to pay for. And and listen, when a doctor have only 12 minutes to see a patient,
Right.
how the hell are you gonna know the whole history? How the hell are you gonna connect to the patient? How this is, and we are moving towards personalized medicine, and conventional medicine is far behind. I mean, they need
Thank
to
God.
catch up a little bit.
Yeah, well, I love that you're saying that because that's how we fix that. Because one of the things is that does frustrate me with Western medicine is just that. Meaning, if we go into a doctor, um, we give them, the respect that they're due, right? But if like we go in there and they just give us 2 minutes of their time, they don't ask us any questions, even about sleep. How you sleeping? Did somebody die? Or, you know what I mean? And I just think they're really letting people down. That's like what I said when you came on, when I introduced you. It's so refreshing to see doctors now starting to branch out into the world that you are. Do you think in regards to like peptides and whatnot, they're going to start to push Western medicine and pharmaceuticals a little bit to the side at all? Or do you see them running neck and neck or commingling? What would you say?
I honestly, I would like to believe that, but I still don't believe that peptides are going to, you know what I mean. I don't. It's who is going to benefit from that? Listen, half of the population, probably of United States, is using tirzepatide or any of the GLP agonists, not from the doctor's office, from the gray market, from compounding pharmacy, and their blood pressure going down, their A1C going down, they getting healthier. So people see that the conventional medicine unfortunately fails them. And so they need a practitioner. Maybe you work with the practitioners like that. I am that practitioner who sits with the patient for about 40 minutes and talk about their habits,
That's awesome.
if they sleep. Exactly, the sleep is the major factor for testosterone and growth hormone production.
Oh, man,
Exercise, if you in IT and you sit on your ass all day long and you haven't been in the gym for months, what testosterone are we talking about? I mean, you do have to contract some of your muscles.
Right. So you're a big advocate of resistance training,
Absolutely.
obviously sleep and cortisol and things like that.
And the food, what we eat. Will the conventional doctor ask you, what is it that you eat? Do you eat well?
Nothing, ever.
Right? Exactly.
Hey. I mean, we can cure ourselves to a degree with food, but it's difficult these days just because even the food is genetically modified and seed oils and everything. I think there's a big move. Even the growth of this podcast, we're just two dudes that like to talk about supplements and we just love it, and it's been a passion and it's just God's put his hand on it. It's grown because people are just seeking something different. So it's such a blessing. But you being a doctor and being a lot farther, more intelligent than us, that's why it's so rad to have you on the show, just because I know people listen to this, and especially with women, because women kind of got a raw deal when it came to like hormones and whatnot. Now that's starting to come around. Ladies, you don't have to feel like crap. You're supposed to have a sex drive. You're supposed to feel good, right, Doc?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, the ladies, because there's so many that listen. What are some of the symptoms that you're going to see where their hormones are just not right and they think they're just getting old?
Well, yeah, we're all gonna get old, but we don't have to feel like we're old, right? Oh, ladies, it's an orchestra. When I look at women's hormones, it's really not one thing. Like, for men, when you prescribe testosterone, great. For women, It's estrogen, it's progesterone, it's testosterone, it's
Yeah.
DHEA, it's cortisol. I mean, it's an orchestra, and I'm that person that does the work,
Conductor.
Yeah, right. You're the
conductor. So the symptoms usually are irritability, very hard to fall asleep or stay asleep, low libido. I mean, this is the major one. Inability to build muscle. There is no desire to go to the gym. There is no desire to do things that they usually do. And honestly, testosterone is underrated hormone for women. And I am, I give testosterone to almost all my perimenopausal and menopausal women. And it makes a huge difference. Not the pellet. I will never advocate for the pellets, injectable. So the creams, women can inject testosterone if you order testosterone from a compounding pharmacy and they have the specific formulation. It's 20 milligrams per milliliter instead of 200 milligrams per milliliter for men.
Yeah.
There's also estrogen. Have you heard now there's a shortage of estrogen patches in America? What? So now, and nobody talks about estrogen in injectable form, but there is estrogen cypionate or depot estrogen that you can order also for compounding pharmacy, and you can have that woman to inject maybe once or twice a week together with testosterone. I mean, the dosages depends on the specific individual and their blood work, but we can solve those problems. You don't have to suffer through menopause. You don't have to suffer from mood swings and and most of the doctors I have so many women patients who come to me because they were prescribed antidepressant for their menopausal symptoms instead of estrogen or testosterone.
Dude, are you kidding me?
And they come and they still have the same symptoms. I can have sex with my husband, but I'm on SSRI. How SSRI will kill your libido? Like, man, what did you do? Right? They will kill your libido. But yet they were giving SSRI instead of estrogen or testosterone and testosterone. Right? It's a mess out there. It's honestly a mess.
It really is. I know this is going to be a big question. So gals come in for the most part. What are you seeing is the biggest problem in their blood work? Is that too vague to ask that? Like, what are some of the main problems? If it's men, it's testosterone, right? So, is there like on average what you're seeing women and that's just kind of their hormones are out of whack?
Well, it depends if it's a perimenopause or a menopause. Let's say a woman entered the menopause. Now, lots of things are going to be down, and you can see that estrogen is around 10 or less than 10. You can see testosterone is on the floor. You can see their DHEA is very low. You can see their cholesterol is high, very high, because why? Your liver makes 80% of cholesterol. Your liver makes cholesterol to synthesize your hormones. Your liver, I guess, doesn't get the message that hormones are no longer being synthesized because it keeps receiving the signal that hormones are low. So it produces cholesterol. It keeps producing the same amount of cholesterol, but hormones, our brain is not listening. The ovaries are empty, so there's nothing to make. And that's why in menopause, we see rise in cholesterol. And what do other practitioners do? They give them statins instead of giving them hormones.
My gosh, I was going to say that. They're giving them statins. Oh my God.
You could give them hormones, and I can see in 3 to 6 months, their lipid profile goes from here to here. So it really gets stabilized. That's what's called hormone, optimization, when we optimize the system. So when we optimize the hormonal system, but again, if a woman is overweight, it's it's an orchestra. We have to work on a lot of things. But if a woman,
and that's. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was saying though that that's life though, right? Like if you want to feel great, sometimes it's going to take a little while to unwind some stuff. I mean, Will and I talk, a lot about men, but we call it the sweet spot, and that's meaning basically hormonally optimized. And that sweet spot changes, for example, for me, I've found like 180 milligrams of testosterone seems to be my sweet spot. And what I mean by that is where I feel the best, my sex drive is good, but you change as you age. I've talked about it on this podcast, so you haven't heard it, but I hit 49, man, and I just went poof, and it just knocked me the hell out of my sweet spot. So the last good 6 months or so, I've just been really trying to figure out some of the things going on. I think a lot of stuff stemming from my gut, and it takes a lot of time. Like, for example, it's no fun to do blood work. It's no fun to do stool tests, but you know it's worth it when you feel good.
Yes.
You can feel great at 49. Just people have just succumbed to the fact that, oh, I'm getting old. So yeah,
Can I ask you a question?
I love it.
So
Yeah, of course.
180 milligrams a week, how do you inject? Do you
Mhm.
inject once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, every other day? What's your regimen?
Yeah, it's a great question. It changes to how much I like to pin, as we say, inject. Generally Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've done it all every day. Microdose. I've done it once a week because I'm just tired of sticking a needle in my butt. Obviously daily is going to be the best way to do it. I don't feel the biggest difference. I mean, if I do it once a week, I mean, a lot of my testosterone converts to estrogen fairly quickly. I've always been kind of gyno prone. It's been under wraps now for like a long time. I've had my sweet spot down for quite some time, but like we tell our listeners, it takes a lot of time to figure this stuff out. I've
Yeah.
done 140, 150, 200, which I knew was too much. And that's everybody. I would imagine women as well. So, for example, is there a general rule of thumb for ladies? We've heard 5, 12. Is there a specific amount of testosterone that would be where you would start? I know it's blood work, but when are you too high? Because I know women are going to think they're going to start looking like a man and feeling like a man. That's not true. But give us some ideas on ladies that don't know much about this subject. How are they going to feel when they get their hormones in line? And is there like kind of an idea of like how much a woman would run?
Sure. So I'm going to give me, I'm going to have me as an example instead of my
Sure.
patients
Great.
because I am 43 and I am perimenopausal. Yay.
Right.
And my testosterone was slowly going down, and 3 months ago it just dropped. And I decided not to use the cream. I decided to inject myself with testosterone. And so how did I feel prior the injections? Definitely no libido. Definitely that went out the way, and I'm married. And I was like, I had no
Right.
desire. And my husband is like, what?
Right.
You're 43. I'm like, yeah. And so that the fatigue would be crash in the middle of the day, and I would think that it
Yeah.
was my sugar, and I would stick my finger and see, am I hypoglycemic? What's happening? So before
Yeah.
I realized it was testosterone, even my testosterone though was in range. If you look at the laboratory range, it was in range for me. My estrogen is dropping. My progesterone has dropped. So I am on progesterone and testosterone. I'm not on, so I am injecting testosterone twice a week. I use testosterone again with MCT oil. It's very easy to draw with insulin syringe, and I inject 2 milligrams, 2 to 3 milligrams Monday and Thursday. Right now.
Okay.
I can increase. Maybe in the future I will increase it when my estrogen goes down to shit, let's say, and I need a little bit more
Sure.
testosterone to aromatize into estrogen. I'll do that. But again, I have to.
Sure.
It has to be with labs. It has to be. It has to be monitored because. And I love
Yeah.
testosterone for women, and definitely within 3 weeks I did feel much better, and I feel great now.
Come here,
I
honey.
Yes, I tell you that. So I am for testosterone.
That's good though.
A
That's
few years
awesome.
ago, I was against the testosterone injections, but now I'm not. And the reason
Awesome.
why I was
What do you think? So, I was going to ask you, compare the cream versus testosterone, but finish yours.
So why I was against the testosterone, because I saw a lot of women athletes who really were injecting enormous amounts where their voice would change,
Yeah.
where they started growing hair on
Yeah.
their chin, but they would compete. They were, they need it for the stage. And I was like, wow, I cannot
Right.
support that as a practitioner. So I'm like, no. And they will get testosterone on the ground, obviously. But the more I speak to women, and I have women who are injecting from 10 to 15 milligrams a week, and their testosterone is still normal. So nothing goes really crazy. So it depends on how you metabolize it. Go ahead and ask the question.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay, my question, what do you think, what do you like better, and compare testosterone cream versus injections? Do you see the cream actually doing
Yes,
much for
again, I
men,
have
women, etc.?
for men probably it's better to do injections because they sweat more. But again, I have women who are afraid of needles. If they're afraid of needles, they can only use cream. We have vaginal cream, we have
Sure.
transdermal. Do the number? Yes, the numbers go up. You have to just have the larger percentage of testosterone in the cream to reach the therapeutic dose. But it does work. It does work. But and most of my
Yeah.
women, for some reason, prefer cream because, if, again, injecting, it's not a common thing. You know, if I do say I do
Yeah.
inject, but
Right.
it's my personal opinion. I don't have to put it on my patient.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had I was doing another podcast with a gal that she was a police officer, and I won't say, well, I know she listens to this. So what's up, Brandy? She came on the show and you told her story, basically. You know, she was going to doctor. I can't remember if they put her on antidepressants or whatnot, but they were just not helping her in any way. And I think that she heard a podcast. I don't remember exactly what was it, but she finally went to the doctor that actually started running her hormones. And the long story short is she feels great. You know, she thought something was wrong with her. She didn't want to have sex with her husband and all this stuff, right? Like we think that that's just what happens when you get older. It's just not, you know, you just got to get these things in line. Do you know what's like you say in range. So like in range is what, like 250 to 500 or something for men. What is an
For
actual
men,
healthy
No,
range?
higher than that. A lot higher than that.
Well, I'm saying
yeah,
from like a doctor, if like they pull your blood work and they
yes.
see you at like,
Listen, yes,
they'll say you're in
exactly.
range.
Exactly. They see
Oh.
if I see a 40-year-old man with testosterone of 450, a free testosterone of 8, I'd say you're not in range. But conventional doctors, absolutely, they
Thank
look at
God.
the laboratory range. They look at their lab, and the lab says that 700 is the top, and you know it's. And
Mhm.
I have a patient who had
Jeez.
his natural testosterone of 720, and he's like, my doctor said I have to detox. I'm like, how do you detox from
Oh
I mean,
man.
you're
Yeah,
40
what the
years
hell?
old, your testosterone is 7 to
Oh
20.
my God.
High five,
Jeez.
but how are we going to
Oh man.
detox
Yeah.
it?
Did he answer that? Did he tell you how? Tell me. Like, that's funny.
No, not. She didn't say. I mean, she just left the doctor. The doctor was scared. He said, "This is not right. This is
Oh man.
scary. I don't believe you're not injecting." And the guy didn't inject. I mean, just one patient I have that
Yeah.
with the natural testosterone of that number at 42 or
Yeah.
43 he is, and his primary care was like, what? He was afraid. He fired him as a patient because he didn't believe he didn't inject. And how
Oh
do
my gosh.
you look at his LH and
What?
FSH and it's not suppressed? That's how you know he's not injecting. Like seriously, are
Oh
you the
man.
doctor? If a person injects testosterone, your balls are going to be shut down. And I mean, this is a common knowledge
Right.
among medical professionals. But his doctor looked at, but I guess he didn't run even LH and FSH because all they do probably run testosterone. And he looked at
Yeah.
testosterone,
Right.
and the free testosterone
Right.
was there actually. And then I ran his panel,
Okay.
and his LH and FSH was normal. And I said, take this blood work, go to your primary if you still want to have a primary because of your insurance, and say, I don't inject testosterone. And I was willing to write a letter to the doctor to
Wow.
tell him
Oh
that,
wow.
that this patient did not inject anything. And we have evidence. Look at his estrogen, look at his LH and FSH, nothing is suppressed. That's his natural production. You should be happy for
Yeah.
this guy.
That's unreal. Unreal.
So back to women, is there any, so for all of the low estrogen, progesterone, DHEA, testosterone, is there any specific symptoms? What I'm trying to get at is there any way for a woman who's listening to, I don't know, I know we don't really want to self-diagnose, but is there specific symptoms for each one of those, or are they kind of all the same symptoms?
No, with estrogen, of course. So if you have very low estrogen, you will have hot flashes. You'll sweat like crazy. You will have the mood swings. If you're low on progesterone, you will not stay asleep during the night. You will be very anxious. You will be restless. If your testosterone is low, you'll have no motivation. You'll have no libido. You have no energy to get up and do things. Especially you cannot, some women who were exercising and their testosterone dropped, they don't want to go to the gym. So I would say those are the common ones I can name. DHEA, though,
You're right.
is the your body decides. When you take DHEA, your body decides whether to convert DHEA to estrogen or to testosterone, or do nothing with that. So some women, and we have a new study that came out, postmenopausal women taking DHEA, and so when you take DHEA, and it's large numbers, I don't remember exact milligrams, but it increases your testosterone and estrogen. Not for every woman, but if your metabolism, if you metabolize hormones good, then it will help you. But not everybody can respond to DHEA again.
Okay, interesting. So here's a kind of off topic. I've had women, and my girlfriend, my fiance is one of them, but several others that say, "Oh, I like taking semaglutide, tirzepatide better because that lowers my inflammation, whereas Retta doesn't." Is there like any scientific? Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, of course, because of
Okay,
glucagon.
and
It's
why?
thermogenic. Glucagon.
Okay.
I don't think that when Retta come out, right? November should be December, and there will be. We would need more studies. Because I have a scientific background. I understand pathways. I understand biology, molecular pathways, receptor modulation. Errata has 3 receptors. It acts on 3 receptors. Glucagon, one of the receptors that can be pro-inflammatory in people with autoimmune conditions. I do have few patients with Hashimoto's who buy Retta, somewhere, and their Hashimoto gotten worse. But
wow.
on tirzepatide, they were on tirzepatide. They would get it from me, but then because internet talks about a lot of things, and they like, Retta is gonna be great. I don't think it's going to be great with people with autoimmune disease. I think tirzepatide will stay as a main GLP drug for patients with autoimmune conditions, endometriosis and such,
That's great.
Hashimoto's, psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis. I have
Really?
patients
That's
on
really
rheumatoid
interesting.
arthritis and psoriatic arthritis who takes tirzepatide microdosing up to 2 milligrams, and they have symptoms relief.
Wow.
That's really
Yeah.
great to hear. Okay.
That is cool.
That's helpful. I'm curious about your athletes. And I know BPC is on the WADA list. My guess is for years, I know this. I mean, that athletes have been using BPC.
Yeah.
What do you? What do you do? You do orthopedic kind of injections with what peptides are you giving to athletes nowadays?
If
What are they like? What's good?
They try to use peptides when they only use peptides off season when they cannot be tested, and they do use BPC, they use TB, they use thymosin alpha, and we do intra-articular injections with stem cells and hyaluronic acid to provide cushioning. But yes, everybody, if they don't get it from me, they get it off. Everybody.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not secret. When people say there is no evidence that BPC does anything, trust me, the whole Olympic world has been using
Yeah.
it for the past since 1997.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Why is it banned? Why did WADA ban BPC?
Well, WADA bans stuff for 2 reasons. First, because it enhances the performance. Second, because
Here you go.
it is toxic.
Yeah.
So,
And do you think that BPC is toxic?
No.
Like this one strikes me as like it just gives those who have enough money and to do it maybe an unfair advantage because they recover faster. But it's not bad. They're not banning it like because it's hurting people.
Oh, you know that it's not hurting people because I'm sure you know hundreds and hundreds of people who are injecting BPC, and I have been prescribing, and you can. I'm fine with this. Don't have to cut it. So I have been prescribing peptides since COVID times, and but
Wow,
I used to prescribe those peptides, those that were on category 1 when they were moved from category 2 to category 1, and the most prescribed peptide in my practice was BPC and TB.
Sure, of course.
Okay.
From an athlete to an elderly, with arthritis.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, more cases now coming out with people injecting BPC or TB or copper peptide with diabetic retinopathy that people go blind. I have one patient that actually went blind on one eye
Really?
after not she's not my patient. It's a mother of my patient who
Ah,
decided
okay.
to without talking to the doctor. And I always actually speak to patients and I ask them about their current conditions, their if was a malignancy ever, if there is any chronic conditions. And diabetic retinopathy, it's not good with angiogenesis. It promotes what
Hmm.
BPC does. It can promote, but BPC promotes angiogenesis where it hurts. Diabetic retinopathy, it hurts there. So if they take
Okay.
the cocktail of three, that's going to be really not good.
Okay.
But we cannot
Good to
say
know.
that. I cannot say that yes, this is it, because we don't have research confirming my
Yeah,
words.
sure.
This is again
Mhm.
another
Yeah,
real
yeah.
world evidence where a mother of patient of mine decided to inject it and went blind.
Oh, wow.
Nobody can
It's
prove it was BPC and TB and copper just because the doctor should. We can prove it. We can, because we don't have, but we do know what she's been on and what have changed in her
interesting.
regimen.
Cool.
What are you seeing out there in the good old social media world that we all live in, mindlessly scrolling? Or is there anything that's driving you crazy that's all through social media that when you see it, you just want to scream? Like, no! Is there anything that's driving you crazy?
Yes, as the glow skin, the glow skin, it cannot glow. And to be honest, Matsi, for me, Matsi is overhyped. It's really overhyped. Matsi, and I have tried Matsi myself, and I've tried every peptide on the market.
Mhm.
That were in category 1. I haven't tried any of the peptides that like PE2228, the antidepressant that blocks the TRK1 channel in your brain and leads to ischemia. Do not try that peptide. You shouldn't. That's
Yeah.
Matsi. I think Matsi is overhyped. I think Matsi will be beneficial with really obese type 2, type 1 diabetic, but not for younger population, because you already have
Yeah.
MATC in you. You produce MATC.
Mhm.
If you're a gym rat, you produce enough MATC.
Interesting. So I was going to ask you one of the questions
Yep.
if we got to it. Did you think that running SS31 and MOTS-C together was good, or
No,
SS31 first, then MOTS-C?
but it's absolutely yes. MATC acts on
So you're saying
AKT.
not MOTS-C?
No, I mean MATC. What does MATC do? MATC does not really give you healthy mitochondria. It reroutes the energy. We do not have evidence. Again, people who say, but mechanistically, I looked at every MATC study. Let's say every, like 80%, I would say, study that I've read about MATC. And I do not see where would it make your mitochondria or make more mitochondria. People say MATC will make more mitochondria. No, how? Tell me how. If you say that, please tell me how, from the scientific standpoint, from the molecular standpoint, how it can make more. It can. Your mitochondria can make more MATC, but MATC cannot make more mitochondria. Now, SS31, what does it do? It stabilizes cardiolipin, the membrane cell, inside of cell, there is a mitochondria. Inside that mitochondria, there is a phospholipid bilayer that's stabilized by cardiolipin. And this is how ATP is produced. So SS31 stabilizes the membrane, so the ATP production is more stable. It's a great peptide. I think SS31, every person over 40 should try SS31.
Great.
Because I think it's going to be the longevity peptides, the anti-aging peptides. It's going to be tirzepatide, SS31, maybe something else. But for me, those two are the main longevity peptides.
Are you allowed to talk about dosages? Can you say the dosage you would recommend on SS31?
Well, yes, SS31. Let's look at the dosage. The dosage that we Bar syndrome, I think they inject him from 50 to 150 milligrams, right, per dose. Now we have to extrapolate that into the regular person. How do we know how much to inject? 1 milligram, 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams. I tried 1 milligram, I tried 5 milligram, I tried 15 milligrams, I tried 30. I
Yeah.
felt the same. I
So do
felt
we.
no difference.
Right.
So, but all the research that as a biologist, if you're healthy, well, no, if you're not healthy, doesn't. If you're over 40, and we do know that the aging process starts, right? Your hormones go to work. I think 5 to 10 milligrams daily for 3 months, you could entertain that. And I would also
Yeah.
suggest do the
Sounds great.
blood work before and after. Look at your white blood cell, look at your red blood cell, look at your inflammatory markers, look at your protein and cholesterol and kidney, because SS31 now are being studied for cardiac health, for kidney, renal health, and what some eye disorder. Now the research is being done. So I think SS31 is not overhyped. It's a great peptide. We need to find out what are exactly the dosage. What is the,
Yeah,
because
sure.
it's an expensive peptide.
It is.
My
Yeah.
cost is it's very high, and the vial that I get from compounding pharmacy has 300 milligrams, I believe. It's 50 milligrams per milliliter, and you get 6 milligrams there. So, and my patients inject between 5 and 10 milligrams. Some women do report that they feel more energy. Some people say they feel nothing. 50%
Yeah.
of people is going to say it's going to do something. For other people, 50% they say it's going to do nothing.
Right.
But with MAT-C, I have now 2 people who went with anaphylactic shock after the reintroduction of MAT-C. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
They should research. Why is that?
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot with CJC.
I
A lot of people are having huge, terrible reactions with CJC. I mean, it's often enough to where it seems like it's a problem.
wow.
That compound in particular. So that's awesome. I love hearing about that. Well, any other ones that you do not like that you think the internet is overhyping? Let's talk about a few more of those. So you think MOTS-C is all hype? What else? I know people are gonna want to hear this.
IGF LR3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think it's worthless?
Why?
Well, tell me, what's IGF LR3?
It is the pure form, but not that long acting of your actual
It's very
insulin-like growth factor.
it's very long acting. It's
I mean,
the
it's
longest.
the longer acting than the DES, but it's still not
DAC.
that
DAC.
long acting.
No, IGF
With the DAC,
LR3
but there's
okay, why don't I like IGF-LR3? Because IGF-LR is complicated in tumor biology. So add R3 there, and so if you prolonging stimulation of your IGF-1 receptors, and remember your IGF-1 receptors in the heart muscle too. So, and recent research, the less your IGF, well, not yours, but the mice, the longer they live. So now we have more and more emerging research stating that the lower IGF, the longer you will live.
Interesting. Wow, that's
cool.
And there is a lot of
some
research
other ones?
like
What
that.
else? Yeah.
What are some ones that you like? SS31 you like. What was the other one that she was saying? Oh, was it PPC?
Yeah, I guess tell me what the thoughts on NAD. I know that, and I guess I do have a bigger question on like NAD. I know there's scientific research that says it shouldn't work injected, but like it works. It does work. My broader question is how come there are a lot of these peptides where there's a lot of scientific evidence, but it's not being accepted in the United States, and then there's some with not much evidence and they are being accepted, in thymosin alpha, which is like one of our favorites, right? It's like it's a drug. It's in 30 some countries. Why the heck does the United States not allow it?
I don't understand the politics of medicine. Honestly, I was going to ask you guys, maybe you knew, but again, for me, if that drug is accepted and works and approved in other countries, I would say it is safe to use.
Right.
So thymosin alpha, CMAX. Listen, CMAX and C-Link has been forever. And people in Russia has been using it for decades.
People love it too.
Some
Do
people
you like
do.
them? Do you notice those?
I've tried it. I've never felt any effects really.
Yeah.
So you specialize. One of the things you specialize in that I read was like longevity. So what would be a stack that you would give somebody that is a healthy? Let's say a 50-year-old comes in and he's actually healthy. He's been exercising. He eats right. He's a fit dude. What would be a stack that you would recommend for him to kind of extend his life, or at least to help him?
Well, testosterone would be there because if he's 40 something, his testosterone is already dropping, right? We don't have much 40-year-olds
Listen, man.
with
Right.
testosterone over 450. So I would say
Right.
testosterone, SS31. If
We're
he
winning.
does exercise a lot and he needs recovery, we would entertain BPC 157 and TB 500.
Yeah.
And I do
Okay.
not like to use more than 3 peptides just to affect, to see which one actually, because people do, I usually give 1 peptide and I say, take this, like
Okay.
SS31, go and inject it for months and then come back to me
Right.
and say if you felt
Right.
anything. And if you do
Right.
feel anything, we can add, let's say, copper peptide. And then now you understand what is it that you're feeling. Because
What you're doing,
unfortunately,
what's going on.
online, people selling stacks, but people don't know other people's physiology. You don't know what
Right.
you know. And listen,
So
stacks
true.
are okay, but when people use those peptides independently on its own to see what
They
effect
know.
they get. And now stacks
Sure.
have the milligrams. Listen, if you look at BPC 157, the research on mice, what is the average dosages that we give to mice? From 250 to 500 micrograms, we give the same dosage, 500 micrograms to a man. How is that? How is that normal? How do we
Sure.
translate
Yeah, yeah.
mice biology to human? We can't do that.
Yeah.
So we can't do
Sure.
that. We have, and I have a guy who owes. I'm not gonna tell him. He's in Canada. His lab got I think they closed his lab, but he was injecting intravenously BPC once a week, the whole vial
Oh.
of 15 milligrams.
Oh wow.
3 or 4 years ago, and he would come to me, and he would like, I'm injecting that, and I was like, whoa. And then he's like, did you read the research? And I'm like, no, let me. And then I'm reading the research, and damn, the mice would get 500 mcgs, and now we're recommending people 500 mcgs.
Right.
And is it a placebo effect? No, because I do see people with some tendon injury. Of course, if you have full
Yeah.
tendon tear, BPC is not going to connect the dots. But if you
Yeah.
have partial
Right.
tear, you can see that
Absolutely.
it helps to recover
It's undeniable.
quicker
Right.
without using.
Right.
And I have tried on many athletes just BPC without steroid injections, without any manipulations with stem cells, just BPC, just to see whether the ankle will heal faster with BPC than ibuprofen. BPC heals it faster. I mean, this is your
Yeah.
real world evidence.
Absolutely.
But the dosages, that's what I'm still confused on the dosages, even though we do have those dosages from compounding pharmacies that they do have recommended 500 mcgs. How long can you inject it for? Nobody also knows, but we come up with our own protocols.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to tell us what do you give somebody? If somebody's got
Like a pro athlete. Like
Yeah.
let's say he tears a shoulder. Not like horrible, but you think
Every pro
What would you
athlete
give
is
him?
very knowledgeable. I don't need to tell him what to inject. He comes to me and he tells me, listen, this is what I need actually.
Sure, right.
If you're a pro athlete, you have a team of consultants,
down.
and
Yeah.
they come to me and they say, listen, I need this 3. I need copper, BPC, and TB. I either get it from you or I get it from guy in my
Yeah.
gym. And I go,
Yeah, right.
sure, get it from me. So those
Yeah, yeah.
3
So what do you
would-
start him with?
those
How
3.
much?
How much?
I know how much of BPC or how much of the how
No,
much of the other 3
again,
do you usually start people
I
with?
say the recommended dosages is 500 mcgs.
Okay.
Whatever they do, they do. Recommended
Okay.
dosages of copper peptide is 1 to 2 milligrams, but nobody can tolerate it higher. So with that, I don't have problems with the copper peptide. But BPC and TB,
Mhm.
we really don't. You know, I injected myself once half of us, so intramuscular 7 milligrams of each just to see what's going to happen. Nothing happened.
Wow.
JD, tell her how much you did
Yeah, so
after surgery.
I had a back surgery. When was that, Will? A year ago? I don't
Maybe,
remember. I think it was
yeah.
about a year ago. But anyways, I don't know. Do you know who Paul Bakhtiar?
No.
He's a good friend of ours. He speaks at a lot of the conferences and whatnot. But anyways, he's a good friend of ours and a guy I respect heavily. So he saw, I was posting, I was in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And then I got out and he calls me and says, I want to put you on protocol. I put a lot of my pro athletes on. I had a microdiscectomy. I said, okay, cool. And it was 3 bottles of 10 milligram TB500 and BPC, so the blend. So 3 bottles in the morning, so 30 mgs, 2 bottles at night, then 20 mgs, so 50 mgs that day. And then the second day was 2 bottles, so 20 mgs, third day, 20 mgs, 10 mgs, 10 mgs, 10 mgs. So 5 days of just saturation. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. I was going to take a lot anyway, but like, that's a lot. And luckily I can get it. And it worked amazingly. I mean, I healed so fast that the surgeon's like, wow, wow, you healed quickly. Now he's a guy that, knows peptides and whatnot, not as much as you, but he was amazed. And I was in the gym 2 weeks later. Now, it was a microdiscectomy, and, you heal fairly quickly from a microdiscectomy, but I was in the gym 2 weeks later and felt amazing. It's crazy how fast that stuff works. I love it.
But also what I've noticed with peptides, the older you are, the less they work. I have patients 50 and over who tried BPC for their shoulder problems with rotator cuff tears, and nothing healed. Nothing. For 6 months, they've injected BPC and TB. And I have few of those patients who then got very disappointed with peptides. So I think it also depends on your age, depends on if you're healthy. So if you're healthy enough, so not sure, but see, we have no research. We don't have much. We do have people. I know people, you know people, we know lots of people, but we don't really dissected those people. We didn't do the blood work. We didn't study. And I wish we'd had that research, but we won't. And we know that we won't. Unless someone like you, maybe you win a lottery and you decide to open your own scientific laboratory where you can conduct studies and invite me. I'll be the lab person.
There you go.
Helping you.
You're hired. I would imagine though, being able to somewhat do your own research by just seeing people and how they heal, it's probably amazing. Like I can tell you love it. Isn't that cool? Because we get to see people heal themselves with these things. And, again, we've already talked about Western medicine, but these things are actually helping people because we see it, we see it expediting injuries and whatnot. It's so awesome.
But also we do need MRI studies prior and during the treatment and after the treatment. But my patient, patients don't want to spend money. Because I have invited, I wanted to do just a case study at my clinic. And I said, I told the patient, listen, I'm going to give you medication for free, but you have to pay for MRI. I want you to do the MRI now, then in a month, then in 2 months. So you'll be on BPC for 6 months, let's say. And they had the partial tear. They refused. They don't want to spend money on MRI.
Oh, wow. That would be so cool.
Yes. And I encourage people to do those studies because you can submit those studies to scientific journals.
That's awesome.
Oh
man, I would imagine hopefully there's going to be more and more people like you that are starting to do that because there's people that are in this world that we all swim in. One thing that I love about it is that everybody's really sticking together, just through the podcast and just how things work, law of attraction, so to speak. We've just been able to meet a lot of people, that are in this world and they all stick together, man. They all helped each other. That's a passion to help people get healthy and to fix the world rather than, where we were coming from, which we've already discussed. We'll leave it there. And it's awesome. I love seeing it. I hope that you just being on here, there's some doctors that see you and that lights the fire in them to do the same. Like Western medicine's outdated to a degree. Listen, you break your arm. That's great. Go get it like fixed. But it's time to look at different stuff. And unfortunately, they don't have the studies. let's do them. Someone's got to do them.
Yes.
You're a doctor. Let's do it. Like, I love it. I love that you're leading the way in this. Yeah, man, that is so awesome.
I'd like to state that and get your opinion because I think I know where you stand, though. We talk about all the time that, like, hey, peptides are great, people, but like they're an optimization tool. And the foundation is you actually exercising and eating right.
Right.
And
Nice.
then you get to start seeing some magic happen. But these are not for you to sit on the couch and do nothing, change nothing, and just take a drug. Thoughts on that? Do you agree with this?
Absolutely.
What's the most important thing?
Most important thing is the muscle. Muscle is the foundation. It's the future. It's your investment in your future.
Totally.
When you're 60, 70, and 80, muscle is what's going to help you to go do your groceries without help, to get up, get off that couch, to do the dishes, to wash the floors, to go walk with your dog. That's muscle. Muscle is the most important thing, and I cannot stress that enough. And for my women, for the listeners, menopausal, postmenopausal women, estrogen is great. Absolutely. It protects your bones, but muscle will protect your bones even further. And estrogen should be optimized. Absolutely. But you have to get up and you have to go to the gym and you have to lift. You have to do resistance training at least, twice a week. At least twice a week. I want you to lift weight. You have to lift that weight. It's those buttless women who drive Bentleys and barely walking and, spend lots of time walking around the mall. That's not exercise. And when my 55-year-old woman say, I do exercise, I walk 10,000 steps a day. I'm like, no, you have to break that muscle apart. You have to break that and make it, and your body will heal and create hypertrophy, and your bones will thank you later. This is an investment for your future. And if you're fat, if you're overweight, and I'm sorry, I cannot, this is now people being persecuted for calling people fat, but adipose tissue is another endocrine organ that is so pro-inflammatory. If you put peptides into that and you feel nothing, of course you're going to feel nothing because your body is busy bringing down the inflammation from the adipose tissue, then going and responding to the signals. Peptides are signals that your body have to respond to. But if you have a bunch of inflammation, if you're sick, if you're overweight, and don't take care of your health, peptides are not magic. It's not miracle. It's not a magic. It's supposed to help you, but you have to help yourself first.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, for like the GOPs, at least if it's somebody that's overweight and they have that no motivation, and if at least that works really quickly. So if that can get the damn snowball spinning downhill to get them off the couch, we celebrate it, But again, we always say these are not supposed to be taken in perpetuity, man. Like this is we want to build the base, not the third floor.
Yes.
Everybody wants to build the third floor, take an injection, and that's all they're doing, and they're losing weight. But you got to build that muscle. And you two ladies, she just said it. Now you got the doctor just said that. We preach it on every episode that resistance training is a must for everybody,
especially if you're on GLP-1.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta. I mean, you don't even have to go to the gym, which. You can do the bands. You can do bands at home.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many creative ways to do it, but do it. For the love of God, do it. Cut out the seed oils. It's just, I love that that there is a movement of most people are starting to seek different. And I love that. Whether it be the COVID era that sparked that flame in people, it doesn't even matter. It's here, and people are seeking other things, and I just love that you are leading the path.
So speaking of muscle, what do you believe in dosage? So protein, the amount of grams of protein a woman versus a man should be taking per meal to build the max amount of muscle. What do you think a man or woman can actually handle? Have you looked into that?
Well, there's a lot of studies that contradict each other. Some studies said you have to take 1 gram per pound of weight. The others say don't. So you have to find your holy grail. If you're a woman and because not everybody can eat that much. I, for example, I eat 1 gram per pound, and I'm 130. Probably I do eat that 3 times. Yes. If I cannot eat dinner, I drink my protein shake. So if you
Yeah,
cannot
sure.
meet your protein
Yeah,
requirement in by chewing your food, you should at least drink it. But 100
agreed.
gram probably for a woman should be at least, at least.
All
Yeah,
right.
for sure. Right when you wake up too.
Just
Um,
breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
do you? Let's talk on that for a second. So I know I'm big on fasting. Do you know? Have you studied any fasting at all? Are you
Sure, absolutely.
knowledgeable on that?
Yes,
Do
I
you?
have.
Because I know women and men, it's very different for women and men. I love it. I mean, 16 hours give or take, you're going to be autophagy, and I just did a
16 hours.
48.
That's little.
16 hours
60.
just it starts, and then about 20 hours it
Yeah.
really starts to rev, and then 36 it's really moving. And I fell in love with it maybe 8 to 10 years ago. I was just, hit one of those walls and I was trying to figure it out. I was all pudgy and I couldn't figure it out. So I started reading about fasting, and I did it for to try to lose weight. But then I fell in love with it because I was running a mortgage company at the time, and I was just on fire. I was just like focused, and it's just amazing. So those are some of the tools that we speak of a lot too, to help people. Even doing 172-hour fast a quarter can just greatly
Yep.
decrease the chance that you're going to get cancer. Dead cells dying off are falling off, and brand new ones take their place. Is how can you lose?
I do fast once a month, the whole Sunday. So one Sunday a month, we don't eat anything with my hubby. I do believe the fasting is good for detox. Not again, you are what you eat. It depends what you eat.
Sure.
If someone who eats only healthy and cooks at home, do they need fasting? Maybe they should try and see how they feel. But for me
Yeah.
personally, I do feel the difference. I do feel more clarity, definitely less
Yeah.
bloated, um, even probably better vision when I fast.
Yeah, super focused. Your gut
Yeah,
get like
gut,
reboots,
yes.
because I know you're heavily into gut stuff. Because
Mm,
gut people are one of the biggest problems, from at least my digging into this. It's just everybody's got the autoimmune problems are really stemming from the guts. A lot
yeah.
of the antibiotics have really triggered leaky gut and things like that. I mean, think about everybody A lot of people have autoimmune issues.
Yes.
Do you feel that like a certain protocol of peptides can rectify some of that stuff, like thymosin alpha to LL37 VIP, like done properly in order? Do you think that can heal or greatly improve like a leaky gut type situation?
Well, I have tried on my patient with IBS, BPC capsules, with KPV capsules, with VIP
Yeah.
nasal spray. But VIP, I can tell you that VIP, those people with kidney failure should entertain VIP. I have two patients whose kidney function, that EGFR number on your blood work that says EGFR, I think his was about 30, so he was on the second stage of kidney failure, and VIP nasal spray brought it up to 60 in 3 months, I believe. In 3 months, he still
Wow.
orders from me the nasal spray 2 to 3 times a year, and that
That's
works
awesome.
great for his kidneys. Now, what I see with gut, tirzepatide does the magic.
Mm.
For some with IBS, with Crohn's, with BPC cap. Not everybody responds to BPC capsules. I have a patient with Crohn. I gave him BPC and KPV, and 3 days into the capsules, he was hospitalized with heavy bleeding.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
So not
Yeah,
sure.
everybody's really different. So you think the
Everyone,
tirzepatide is going to be
everyone's
the
different.
the
Yes.
golden ticket?
Is it because people stop eating shit? Is it? But again, people drink alcohol, people smoke, people eat shit all the time. We talk
Mm,
about God and we
constant.
talk about how we're gonna cure God, but don't we need to talk about
Yeah.
lifestyle? Lifestyle is what
Yeah.
contributes to
Mm.
shitty God. People drink,
Yeah.
and when I give men testosterone or peptides, and I tell them, if you drink alcohol, you should probably not drink every day. Why
Totally.
not? Why
Yeah.
not? Well, alcohol is poison. Who said? I don't know. Research like all over the.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, especially Russian men, and
You
I have
haven't
so
heard?
many Russian patients who are like,
No,
and they tell me, "Aren't you Russian? And you recommended me not to drink. Drinking was our life." Yeah, and look what happened to the country because you were all drinking. The whole country
That's
is
so
drunk,
funny.
and that's why the country isn't so much shit because people were just drunk all the time, I guess. You
It's
know?
so important. It's so important what you said in regards to supplements, peptides. These things are amazing, but you have to eat right, you have to work out, you have to be hormonally optimized. When you get these things in line, and it's going to take some time to get some of these things in line for some people. When you take them in line, peptides are going to work great, most of them, right? But you got to be hormonally optimized, and you got to do your part, which is lift some weights
Yes.
and stop eating, as you said, and I agree, shit food. Put it down. Put that cake down. You don't need
Yes.
it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But also lots of people have psychosomatic issues with the gut because they are depressed, because they're not happy with their life. And your gut is the second brain. If you look at the neurophysiology, your gut has more neurons than your brain. It has to tell you something.
Yeah.
But there's some research on psilocybin and gut issues. You know, psilocybin can cure. Well, can cure. I cannot say cure anything because no. But
Yeah.
psilocybin can aid in some gut problems because first of all,
Psychedelic mushrooms.
yes, psychedelics.
Yeah, they microdose them.
Yes, psychedelics. I have tried all kinds of psychedelics. This is different podcast. You can interview me. I tried everything and anything.
Us too. You're good. So we got you.
So
Yeah.
and you know, mental health does a lot thing with your gut. Mental health plays a huge role in your
Absolutely.
aches and pains. If
100%.
you're not happy, your body will respond with pain. If you're not happy,
Yeah.
I had patients with autoimmune disease. I had patients with, one of my patient with severe Crohn disease. So he went and to Mexico. I think it was Mexico that he did ayahuasca and then he smoked the frog, and he came back and he's still in remission. It's been 2 months, 2 years. I'm sorry, it's been 2 years. Not a one single flare up. He's happy. What do psychedelics do? From the scientific standpoint, they reset your the neural network. So basically, they reset your brain. So what you thought of things after psychedelic, you no longer think of those things. Psychedelics also help you to see the broader picture. Psychedelics help you to see outside the box. I'm a huge proponent of psychedelics. I think psychedelics is the future of peptide. Psychedelics, hormones are the future of medicine.
I love it. No, I think it's great.
While we're talking about that, what about ketamine? What's your thought on that, on the ketamine microdosing?
No. From the brain standpoint, not ketamine. Ketamine, it's not. We can't call it really. Can we call it psychedelic? Not really, because it really acts. But if someone, because with ketamine you can never have a bad trip because it's controlled. With psychedelics, you will have a bad trip.
I know. I have a buddy that was saying what you were saying. He's a guy that Will and I are both sober. We've been sober a long time, so we've done a lot of, or at least I've done a lot of psychedelics myself.
Yeah.
We know well. But anyways, he was a guy that really struggled. He kind of went in and out a lot. I ran into him recently. He was telling me about this psychedelic thing. He went to Mexico as well, did ayahuasca and the frog thing and all that. And the way that he was explaining it, like he was just like a healed dude. Like I had never seen him talk like that. He's usually angry and just, here he comes, kind of one of those guys. Oh man, here we go. But like, dude, he was just like, I was like, wow, bro. Like he seemed healed and like it worked for him, man. So I love anything that's outside of the box. I think that we're not supposed to be in any box. I think we should always keep our minds open for anything, I mean, because I think that, like, again, that's rad that the world's going there, whether it be psychedelics or whatever. If you think that that's going to work for you, everybody's so radically different. You have to try some things to see what is good for you, because even one dose of BPC for me might not work for this big dude right here. You know what I mean? And that's what at least people are doing with peptides. Dr. K, I knew I was going to enjoy this. Hour always goes so darn fast. I hope that we get to have you here one day. That would
Absolutely.
be awesome. We've had a lot of people that come start on the internet and then they come in, and it's always a pleasure to get to sit with you because we could go for hours on just talking with you. I love what you're doing. I know I've said that, but I really am so glad to see doctors leading the way in a different way of life for people. You know what I mean? It's so needed. The world's, like you said, let's just be honest, it's fat, it's overweight, it's just they've given up on themselves. So we need people that are leading the way, that are actually doctors who people will trust, even like more than us, because we try this ourselves. You will do the studies and whatnot. So it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we leave, I have 3 pages full of questions, but I will not ask those. But I have one more question.
We can continue. I have another 20, 30 minutes.
We're in no rush, man.
Fertility.
Yeah.
So unique to me. This is maybe a selfish question. So, my fiance and I are trying to have a baby. I haven't done any testosterone in a month now. And I've been running testosterone for too many years. I'm 41 now. I think I started at like 32. So that's why I like weaned down, but I'm also like, do you do any fertility protocols?
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
what would you suggest? I'm taking some, here's what I'm taking is, well, no test and clomiphene, like 25 milligrams a day. HCG, I don't know. I go up and down, but maybe like 1,500 IUs 3 times a week. HMG, let's see if those come in 25 IUs of HMG 3 days a week.
What's HM? Oh, yes, it's human. It's similar to HCG. Yes.
Yeah. Human menopausal gonadotropin or something.
Right. So you're trying to wake your balls up, but it's only been a month on testosterone. So it's going to take about 3 months for your balls to actually start functioning. And then you do, you check the sperm, whether the motility is adequate, everything's fine. But I think it's too much of things you do. You will start converting, your estrogen will go up, and with up estrogen is not a good quality sperm. I think you should do 12.5 milligrams of enclamophene, since you're already on HCG and the other one.
Okay.
But also do the blood work. Look at your estrogen. If estrogen is too high, it's also not a good thing for conception. That's the word, concept. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. All right.
And your wifey, how's her estrogen and progesterone?
Not sure.
How
need to get her checked too.
Oh, so you have?
I don't really know. I don't know. We have not got her. So again, like we've only been like saying, hey, let's try for like 3 weeks now. I knew that we wanted to. Now we're serious about it. So, but yeah, we might as well both go get checked.
Yes, but again, you've been on testosterone for so long, it's going to take about 3 months on average. That's what I see in my practice, for your balls to be awakened and start to producing your own testosterone. And because testosterone, the sperm that you have right now stored, it is not good because of the testosterone. So it's going to average is 3 months.
Okay, that's cool. I can do it. Well, I'm also still taking like, I don't know, 1 IU of HGH because I've had conflicting advice from doctors. Some have told me don't take any HGH, and then some have said,
no,
yes, you should.
We do have research that HGH helps the spermatogenesis. Definitely. But we have to also remember, when you do take HGH, it means it's exogenous. It means your pituitary will shut down. So you will have to do some cycling. Maybe do HGH and then testosterone or ipamorel or whatever relin you like, because. But not for long also. Stimulating too long your pituitary also can desensitize the receptors. For example, I do testosterone every other day. But again, more and more research coming out with high IGF-1 and aging. Now is GH good? Maybe not long term. Maybe if you do want to try, if you have some injuries and you want GH, but I like testosterone because it's mild stimulation of your pituitary and it also helps on your liver. if you have fatty liver disease, tesamorelin is supposed to get the fat out. Now Retta will get your fat out of the liver in no time, of course. That's the main job of Retta. So someone with a fatty liver disease will definitely benefit from Retta. But I like tesamorelin in not all the time, sporadically.
Okay. Nice.
What
Oh yeah, how about this one? The women ask us all the time, like, what's a protocol for perimenopause?
Well, perimenopause, you still have estrogen. So in perimenopause, what's happening? Your progesterone starts going down with testosterone. So in perimenopause, we're not going to give you estrogen unless you have symptoms of hot flashes. Most women don't. So we're going to replace progesterone with testosterone, and we'll monitor you.
Cool. Okay. Peptides? And do peptides fall into there?
Of course, tesamorelin. I would say I would definitely ask women to entertain tesamorelin if she's perimenopausal because of the cholesterol, because your liver starts to make more cholesterol because the hormones are failing. So tesamorelin should help to redistribute the fat. And when estrogen falls, fat moves from subcutaneous to the organs. So when before you had little fat here, little fat there, estrogen goes down, your fat going inside the organs. So that's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. Okay, that's cool. And then finally, we try to ask every guest, like, what are you taking for peptides that you can tell us right now? Do you mind telling us, like, what are you taking right now?
On record, I can tell you people on record what I take. I take SS31 daily.
Cool.
5 to 10 milligrams. I take tesamorelin Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I started to inject nicotinamide ribosome (NR) subcutaneously instead of NAD, because NAD works in IVs, especially if someone. I detox alcoholics with NAD IV, even though we have no studies, we have no research proving, but it works. And I see this in my practice by Russian men who drinks for weeks and then they come in and we do daily infusion with 500 to 750 milligrams of NAD for 3 days. They stop drinking. They have,
wow.
I mean, it's
That's
incredible
so cool.
what it does. They hate alcohol after that. So this is my protocol for addictions with alcohol, especially because they get so nauseous. They look at vodka and they think of probably NAD, how bad it was for them.
Yeah.
But now, from the molecular standpoint, if you look at NAD, it's a large molecule, right? It's a coenzyme. In order for NAD to enter the cell, it has to be broken down into NR and NMN in an extracellular matrix. And then you have an enzyme that comes in, takes NR, take NMN, bring it into the cell, and now converts it back to NAD+. So then why not inject NR? So you're going to your body will need to do less work. So if with NR, it's taken up by the cells immediately and converts to NAD+. Well, it's a theoretical thing. So this is a theory, but very valid theory because we do know the mechanisms.
Well, then why not just take NAD+? Then your body doesn't have to do anything.
No, it does. If you take an AD+, your body have to convert it to NR and NMN and then take it into the cell and convert it back. Yes, it's a process. And some people will lack that enzyme. Not everybody will have that enzyme. So their enzyme may be very inefficient. That's why some people have no effect on NAD. Some people have great effect with NAD. Lots of energy.
Right.
But again, for me, NR, I feel NR intravenously next day more energy than with NAD infusion for myself.
Awesome.
That's cool. That's cool. I had read that like early on there was in I think London there was a clinic using NAD to cure chronic alcoholics, cure their livers, and they were going in with jaundice and coming out good, and then the authorities shut it down because it's
and I believe that it really detoxes you. Benzos, and we did it even with marijuana. Weed stays inside of you for a long time.
You're fat.
And we have a patient who peed in the cup, got tested positive because he smokes daily and he needed to do some testing. And so for the whole week, he did NAD infusions. In a week, he was clear. In a week, I mean,
wow.
5 days, not
Oh,
7,
wow.
even 5 days of 500 milligrams daily. And the 6 days, he peed in the cup and he's like, Doc, I'm good to go.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. A lot
That's
of
awesome.
kids. The good thing, little kids aren't listening to this. They just got some ideas. I'm a partner in a couple drug and alcohol rehabs, and like JD said, like
Okay.
we've been sober for a long time because we abused every single bit of drug and alcohol there is, and both went through all this. So that
I am very
yes,
proud
it's
of you.
close to our heart. Yeah.
I am sober too.
Yeah.
I don't drink.
Good for you. Okay,
right.
congratulations. Yeah, it's good for you. It's a way better life. Much better life.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, I'll stop.
We'll
Thank you.
we'll let you go. We appreciate your
Okay.
time. It has been actually, I knew I was gonna love it. It's I've been watching all the stuff you've been posting. I love it. It's been a great
Thank you,
meeting
guys.
you again, and hopefully we meet you soon.
Absolutely. I really, really enjoyed this talk. Thank you so much.
All right,
Dr.
thank you
K,
for your
we'll
time.
talk to you soon.
All
Blessings to you.
right. Bye bye,
All right,
guys.
Take care. Thank you for joining us for the Peptide of the Week. We'll catch you next time. Later.